do you want to play Kirby and the Rainbow Curse?
I would rather be doing anything else. Why do you think I'd want to play Kirby and the Rainbow Curse? It is one of the worst games ever. What is wrong with you?
Hello?
I'm ready to play Kirby and the Rainbow Curse.
Oh, I thought you really hated this game.
No. I was thinking of Nicktoons Attack of the Toy Bots. Yeah.
Come on, really? Hello, I'm JJumbo. Who is this?
Hey, it's me, Cola. I know you sounded annoyed when I responded late to playing Kirby and the Rainbow Curse. Anything else you want to play?
Yoshi's Woolly World?
Did you say Yoshi's Woolly World?
Yeah, let me get set up real quick. Okay, use your controller. So what save file do you want to do?
Does it really matter?
Oh, it does! In most games, choosing a save file doesn't mean anything special. But in Yoshi's Woolly World, it changes which color of Yoshi you start out with. So it's nothing Jurassic. You don't jump higher with pink Yoshi or go faster with the blue one.
Fine, let's pick the third save file.
I like your opinion.
Did you even listen to what I said?
This intro cutscene isn't anything too crazy. It starts off with all the Yoshis living a peaceful life. But then Kamek transforms the Yoshis into yarn.
Yeah, aren't they already yarn?
Huh, I didn't think of that. You know, it's like turning someone into skin.
Yeah, that'd be weird. Except, I already don't have skin.
Huh? But in an attempt to do it more efficiently...
Like the Industrial Revolution?
He misses two Yoshis and starts to flee from the scene after being confronted by the two Yoshis. You know, I don't get why Kamek just doesn't transform the two Yoshis into yarn. I feel like all of his troubles would be gone if he were to just do that.
Well, where's your whimsy in this?
When you get control after this cutscene, you get put in this 3D map, which I don't understand why they did this, because this is a 2D platformer. So having a 3D map is kind of weird. But when you hop into the first level, you get to learn the style of the controls. First, jumping as Yoshi is pretty standard.
Yeah, that's what I'd expected of a 2D platformer.
But there's more.
All you need is a jump.
You also get the ability to flutter in the air for a moment. This gives just a little bit of extra height. Then, if you time it right, you can cross large spaces. But it's such a slow form of movement that unless I really needed to test something out, I hated trying to cross large chasms with it. But then, as a form of an attack, you can eat enemies, and then turn them into balls of yarn that you can throw.
That's it! My whimsy's gone! You've done it!
Just because you can throw a ball of yarn?
Yeah! Why would a Yoshi turn a normal enemy into yarn unless it was a sheep? It doesn't make any sense!
Well, what if I tell you the enemies are also made of yarn?
Oh yeah, that'd make all the sense in the world.
Yoshi does feel pretty slow and clunky to me at least. Sure, he can move fast, but having to use a flutter jump for anything breaks all the momentum that I was having. Then, whenever you need to aim, you would have to wait for the reticle to line up the thing you were trying to hit. But if you're the slightest bit off when it's something far away, you're gonna be missing.
How are you that bad at throwing?
Sure, you can use motion controls to line up your shots, but who wants to do that? It's such a clunky way to be aiming. And you have to use a Wii remote in order to do that. Which, who wants to use such a small D-pad to control a 2D platformer when you can use something bigger, like the Wii U gamepad? You can't even make the excuse that someone doesn't have a gamepad, because it came with every Wii U.
Well, I don't have a gamepad.
Did you eat it or something? It's somewhat cute that they use the same buttons as Yoshi's Island on the SNES. This means that if you want to, you can use a Super Nintendo Classic controller. But get this, in the 20 or so years between the Super Nintendo and the Wii U, they added new buttons.
I think they might have just not noticed.
Are you telling me you can't notice the difference between these two controllers?
I think one of them has purple buttons.
What they could have done is use ZR and ZL to change the aim speed. Or they could have used the right stick to aim. Sure, it's not perfect, but it's still better than timing to aim. I know that Nintendo likes to be a little bit wacky with their controls. So they could have used the touchscreen on the gamepad to aim a shot. Sure, it would have been annoying, but it's an option that might be quicker.
See, even what you said might not control good.
Okay, but it's still better to have options than stick with a control setup from the 90s.
See, I get that with the slowness and the clunkiness, but the levels don't take too long. Ow!
The levels here have a similar characteristic to Pac-Man World 2.
Is that all you talk about?
I mean, I do have that Pac-Man fever.
No! You are playing Yoshi's Woolly World whether you like it or not!
Fine.
What I mean with that is that you can run past everything in order to beat the level, but the fun is when you try and grab everything. The problem here is that just like in Pac-Man World 2, there is an excess of collectibles, where some have more importance than others. First, there are the beads. They act as your currency, and when there's a currency, there's a shop.
Oh, I thought there was going to be gambling.
You see, that's why most civilizations fail. They don't start with gambling.
This shop lets you buy badges to equip for that level. Some of them are just a stat buff, like being able to run faster or get a higher defense. Some let you bring items into a level. Then some of them let you grab or find collectibles better. The thing about them are that they aren't at a fixed rate, so the more sought after ones are more expensive, but some of the lamer ones are pretty cheap. The only one I found to be way too overpriced were the immunities to lava and bottomless pits.
Well, of course overpriced. You know how much people fall in lava?
Do you?
No, but it has to be over 1.
But then, there'll be 20 special beads scattered throughout each and every level. Most of the time, they're placed in secret spots. Then, every single one unlocks a stamp to use in Miiverse.
Yeah, let's go post something to Miiverse.
I miss Miiverse.
Me too.
That's so lame that they make the whole point of one of the collectibles useless by shutting down their servers. I don't even care about these special beads anymore, unless I really want to 100% a level.
Don't talk about Miiverse like that!
Well, there's these smiley flowers. There's only 5 of them per level. And what do? Well, after you grab every single one in that world, you unlock a new level!
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
I did in fact do that. It's just a harder level. Cool thing, I guess. I really shouldn't have, but here I am making bad decisions. Another thing they do is that when you make it to the goalpost, if you time it right, you get to play a mini game!
Wow, more time playing with the mediocre controls? And for what? More beads? No, not the ones that give you Miiverse stamps.
Oh.
These minigames feel like such an absolute time waster that I actively try to miss it on the goal ring. But if I want to get every collectible on a level, it means that there will be more smiley flowers at the end. So it's this weird dichotomy of me wanting to grab it and dreading to grab it at the same time. The final collectible is the Wonder Wool. It's what Kamek turned all the Yoshis to at the beginning.
I can't believe him!
In order to ravel a Yoshi back together, you must gather up all the Wonder Wool for that level. The designs of the Yoshis are pretty cute, and for the most part, they match the theme of the level. Then, for the bosses in each world, they replicate the pattern of the actual boss. Something I didn't mention was that for the special levels, the Yoshi patterns are based off of Nintendo consoles. The whole time while I was playing, I chose the default look for Yoshi.
Now, why'd you choose a basic design like that when you can choose something cool? Like this. Where'd they go?
I never really loved any of them, and for the ones that I did like, the patterns that I liked, they chose the weirdest colors you've ever seen. There's something you can do to change the colors of the Yoshis.
That's right, time to pull out the amiibos.
Where did you go?
I just had to get my Yarn Yoshi amiibo.
Why?
I think that the Yarn Yoshi amiibos are one of the best amiibos design-wise that I've seen. Second place would probably go to the 8-bit Mario amiibo. But I mean, look at this Yoshi! It's made of yarn!
Well, yeah, this game's Yoshi's Woolly World. What do you think, it'd be made of wood or something?
I know, but just hold this.
Whoa!
The actual use case of the amiibos feel really fragmented to me. First, the only way to change the color of the patterns is to use the Yarn Yoshi. Not regular Yoshi, though.
Man.
The color choices are pretty cool. And for some reason, you can save the design to the amiibo, which, to me at least, for saving something to an amiibo, it feels stupid. Like, in Smash Bros, you can train an amiibo to fight like you. But nah! Let's just hold one pattern.
Think how much data that needs to hold a pattern on that amiibo.
Can't be that much. It's already in the game. It's not like it's a custom design.
Then, for almost every other kind of amiibo, you can scan them, and it creates a Yoshi based off of the character.
I can't wait to play as Yoshi Pikachu. So that's what Pikachu looks like.
But for some reason, for specific characters, they give a stupid design with a Yoshi in a t-shirt. Some of them make sense, like the newer ones that released after the game came out. But then, for some reason, there isn't any for Pokemon. I don't get it. They were able to get some from Pac-Man and Sonic, but getting the license for Pokemon is too hard.
I tried to get a Pokemon license once. I got shot twice.
You went down a dark alley to try to get a Splatoon CD.
Same thing.
Apparently, when I tried scanning a normal Yoshi amiibo to see what it would unlock, it just said to scan it in a level.
This is so cool! You get to play as 2 Yoshis at the same time!
This also gives a new design for Yoshi, where he looks like he's made of plastic, like the amiibo. Now, I want to see what happens when I scan the Yarn Yoshi into the level.
That's why you can save to your Yarn Yoshi amiibo?
Yeah, you didn't know that? I thought you were joking when you said there wasn't a purpose to saving to the amiibo.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Now, controlling 2 Yoshis at the same time can be cumbersome, but seeing the spectacle of it is amazing!
Weren't you talking about the level design or something?
Oh yeah!
So, in order to 100% a level, you need to grab all those collectibles and have full health at the end. The nice thing about it is that the game remembers which ones you have and haven't collected. This means that you don't have to do all of it in one run. And when you replay the level, it makes the ones you've already obtained transparent. So if there's one that's annoying to get to, if you know you've already done it, you don't have to do it again.
Sounds like you don't want to play more of this game.
I don't!
For the most part, the level designs are pretty good. In the first half, they are really easy. There isn't any bottomless pits that I had to worry about. There wasn't any enemies that made me worry about my health. It was mostly about trying to explore the levels and find all the collectibles. But then in the second half, it had actual level designs that had me worry more about not dying than searching throughout the whole level.
Ha! You see, I didn't have to worry about dying.
Then, for a majority of the levels, they would focus on a gimmick. And I don't know if my opinion on it has changed, but the gimmicks in the last few games that I've played haven't really bothered me. The only thing I wish would happen is that the level gimmicks are almost always unique to the specific level it took place in. This makes it so first, the levels became more memorable to me, but then it made me wish it fleshed it out just a little bit more.
See, I told you you'd like this game.
Did you?
Yeah, I told you you would like this game.
Then, to spice things up, they added mid-level gimmicks where you would transform into random vehicles, like a plane, a motorcycle, an umbrella, or a big...
Wait, a big isn't a vehicle.
Yeah, and so is it an umbrella?
They just have you rushing to the end to grab as many collectibles as you can. But unlike how the regular levels do it, these ones have a timer. But there will be points where you can grab more time. To me at least, the points on when they chose to do these gimmicks felt weird. For the first half of the game, it felt like it almost never happened. But then they realized that they made this thing that they barely put it in. None of the transformations really offended me, but I barely remember them.
Well, here's something you might remember.
This just says you're my boss now. That's not how it works.
Even these bosses aren't anything too special. It does have this ominous aura about them when you start the level, but then it's just a little bit more of a difficult platforming challenge. It's cool that it uses some of the gimmicks the boss will be using, but then you don't get frightened about the attacks the boss is using.
Both of you two assume that's still not the case.
Even then, at every mid-castle, The boss will switch between a big Monty Mole and a big Koopa Paratroopa, which makes it pretty lame. But a cool thing with every boss is that it plays with them moving into the background for some attacks. They aren't too difficult, and the camera does change so you can see it easier, but these bosses are pretty basic, all things considered.
See, these bosses aren't even anything too crazy. And why haven't you been helping me beat these levels? I've been doing them all by myself.
I'm trying, okay?
Your controller isn't even on, and it's a prototype PlayStation 4 AIM. That's not even for the Wii U.
If it doesn't work, why'd you give it to me?
It's the only other controller I had, and I swear it worked.
Yeah, really? What about all the controllers over there?
Fine, here's a controller that must work.
Thank you. Now let's beat the final boss.
The final level sums up the entirety of this game. It has you going through Baby Bowser's castle, but then in order to progress, you must find a yarn ball that matches each color.
That's such a cool idea!
But the level itself is really easy, and finding the colored yarn balls aren't hard. Even the boss is really easy. It's just throwing yarn balls at Baby Bowser. There is a second phase where he becomes ginormous. Then you just throw big yarn balls at Colossal Wonderwool. Again, really basic.
See, this game isn't this absolute masterpiece or anything.
Yeah, even though it's my first time playing it, I didn't think it was that great.
I thought you loved this game.
No, I thought it was Fallout New Vegas.
Hello everybody, and hopefully not nobody. I'm JJumbo, and Yoshi's Woolly World is just alright. Sure, I did have a fun time playing it, but I think it's one that I won't come back to for a long time. What?
You wanna play some Nintendo Land?